Are you a baby chaser? You know who I'm talking about, those little cheek pinchers. If you are coming to the Dallas-Fort Worth area because you have family that's moving here and you want to have an active lifestyle, well, we're going to show you a very cool community today that's got it all.
This literally has it all. It's in the heart of DFW, next to sporting events, professional concerts, everything you could want in an active lifestyle. And if that interests you, that's great. And if it doesn't, we have some alternatives we're going to cover that you're definitely not going to want to miss.
But we're going to take you in, show you a few houses today, so let's get started.
The real reason you move to a 55 and up community is to be with more people like yourself, get away from the crazy kids. But that doesn't mean that you have to get away from all the cool things like this awesome amenity center right over my shoulder here. And we'll get to that in a bit because there's a ton of things to talk about there. We've got two main houses here in the Elements of Viridian, one of which is David Weekley's garden series. And this is a really unique floor plan, something I haven't really even seen before. So I'm excited to show you guys. But you know, all of those cool things to do don't really matter if you don't like the house. So let's go check it out. At just shy of 1,900 square feet, the Indiana floor plan is cozy and not difficult to clean, but it does not feel small. And oddly enough, one of the coolest things about this house isn't even inside, it's the back patio. It's amazing, and we'll get to that in a minute. But what I really want to do is something we've never done before in any of our videos. We're going to start off the floor plan tour with the master bedroom. This is a very unique floor plan. Like I said, one of the first things you see when you come off the entryway is a laundry room attached to your master bath and then the master bedroom itself. Now the way they did this, it's a pretty standard layout in the bedroom. You got a nice tray ceiling with the colored ceiling in the pop-up there. Creates a nice sense of depth and texture difference. I really like David Weekley. They've got a great sense of interior decor with the luxury vinyl plank, the wood-like texturing they got on the wall here. Looks really nice as an accent wall, pretty cheap thing you can do for yourself. But on top of that, it just sets off all of these cool accented lights and everything they got. Really pops without being overwhelming. But this flows into your master bathroom over here. And the way they set this up is more of a square style bathroom. So you got your double vanities over here, nice big framed mirror all the way across. And this all is offset by this big walk-in shower here. Now this is mud pan style, so it does have a bit of a dip down, and you'll see that they've also got floor plans with flush style floors and everything that may be more convenient for people, especially with mobility issues, or if you just like cleaning one flat surface, don't have to worry about ledges. But this one comes with a nice big shower head. It's got the hardware here on the side. This is all black hardware, and you do get color options with David Weekley, which is really nice. One of the cool things I do like about their bathroom setup is their closet doesn't actually have a door to it. So some people like it, some people don't, but you could always have something put in afterwards, and I do believe that door is an option, but it creates a bigger space in your mind. And easy access to things. You don't have to worry about opening a door just to grab something you forgot in the morning. So this is a really cool setup. Nice wide closet as well. Plenty of storage space. You got the water closet here to your right, and to the left you got the towel closet. But this actually opens up into your laundry room here. Full-size washer dryer with overtop shelving. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of the house. The common areas. So the living room right here all flows into the kitchen. I love the way they did this, almost like a vaulted ceiling all the way across. A lot of people, what they'll do is put decorative beams up top, but they went with the double chandeliers, and I think it's really nice because not only does it give your eye something to look at, it also creates a sense of separation because a lot of people will turn this middle section into a dining area, much like this. So it all flows together, but there is like a mental fence around this area, so it can be utilitarian, and all of that flows into this nice kitchen. It's understated, but it's not simple. It's got its own style, and it's almost bold without standing out too much because you get the modern cabinetry, you get the modern hardware. They went with black. I think it's a nice touch. Some people have started going towards the brass and the gold, and I'm sure that would look good too. But what really sets it off is the way that they went with squared everything, and then they did this almost diamond pattern, elongated diamond pattern tile here on the backsplash, which I think is a really nice touch. You want like a little bit of flair, nothing too much, otherwise it gets a little gaudy, and I think they really pulled it off nicely. But this is a good idea of what their kitchens are going to look like. You get the nice tall uppers, all these modern cabinetry, and you do get some options if you don't like this design. They've got other things, but I really like the fact that they've got these nice big windows here over the sink, because when you're sitting here washing dishes, you don't want to be staring at a wall or out this tiny little porthole of a window. It's nice to be able to have some greenery, something to look at, something to keep you entertained while you're working. And all of that hard work pays off when you have eat-on islands like this. This is super convenient because You know, sometimes you don't want to do a whole fancy doll up the dining room dinner. Sometimes it's nice to be able to just have these convenient options when you got friends over, maybe some breakfast or a quick lunch or something like that. But all of this really good hosting space and living space, super easy to clean as well because you don't have a ton of corners. And all of that opens up into a very interesting setup here. So I thought this one was interesting and I want to get y'all's opinion on it because I've never seen it before. We have your office at the back of the house. Nice little office space. This is probably a 12 by 11 room. Not huge, not small, about the size of a standard bedroom. And right across the hall from it is actually your mud room here. So you've got your coat closet. There's a little mud bench here. And this would actually be your garage. Right now, that's a sales office. So they've got a very interesting door on there for a garage. But that's what you first walk into whenever you come into your house from the garage. And I want to know what you guys think of it. This is, their garden series is a front garage style house. They've got some that have rear entry that we'll get to later if that's your preferred method, but that's where your garage entrance is going to be on this floor plan. In the back here we've got one of the bedrooms, and across from it is a full bath over here as well as another closet. This is going to be a linen closet. So these floor plans are 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. The way they set that up is since you are living in a 55 and up community, they can't have people under 30 living here. And honestly, once you're 55 and older and you kick the kids out, it's nice to have them visit, but you don't want them moving back in. So you don't want a ton of extra bedrooms that gives them that opportunity. So it's nice to have somewhere for them to stay temporarily. Let's go check out the backyard real quick. Now these are decent sized homes on some smaller lots, which is great if you don't like yard work, because I mean, who does, unless you're a botanist, but there's plenty of opportunities for that here as well. Honestly, if I have outdoor space, I want it to be nice and controlled, so that way the sun's not beating down on my head, the wind's not whipping in my face if I don't want it to. And that's what you get with a floor plan like this, because one of the biggest draws is this patio that they have. This thing is enormous. So you see right here, we've got a little workstation. The glass door here opens up into this. They've got it all tiled off, but the big thing here, and I mean big, is this huge sliding glass door they have over here. This is probably, what, 9 feet tall probably, and 14 feet across. So you can take that door, slide it all the way over, and open up this already big living area into an extended patio that goes basically down almost the entire length of the house. So you can host not just a big party indoors, but a big one outdoors too. Or this could be part of your workstation setup. You can still get all the sun, the breeze, the greenery, without having to worry about, you know, too much of nature making its way into your workspace. But honestly, I like the way they set it up. You got a little pad here for the dogs, or in this case, they've got a putting green. I suck at golf, otherwise I'd take a swing at it, so you'll just have to take my word for it that it works. I really like the way they did this as well. I don't believe this is an option, but cool creativeness with this green covered fence. All of this offsets this nice outdoor area. It's definitely something you're gonna love if you're an outdoors person, and if you're not, it gives you the option to stay out of Mother Nature's line of fire if you do go outside. But we got an amenity center to go check out that I promised you guys, so let's go take a look at that.
So guys, if you're interested in the garden home, those actually start around $450 and go up around $550. We're gonna take a look at a bigger house on a bigger lot a little bit later, but first, whole reason you move here is community, right? And if you wanna be in an active lifestyle community, this is a great one. As you can see right behind me, and you'll never guess what the most popular event here is. And no, it's not golf. They don't have a golf course. They do have a putting green, but you're actually surrounded by golf courses. So if that's something you like, we've got Riverside, Bear Creek, there's the Texas Rangers golf course. So there's a lot of options if that's your thing. But here on site, they've actually got a couple pickleball courts. They've got a swimming pool. They've got a couple of bocce ball courts. And the thing about this that I really like is all of them have these covered pavilions. So like if you're just hanging out, waiting your turn or whatever, there's a place to actually sit down in the shade, all that kind of stuff. There's a dog park here, a bunch of walking trails, plus you have access to all of these other amenities that Viridian has to offer for the rest of the community. We'll show you that here in just a little bit. But as you can see here, golf cart parking spaces, right? Even though it's not a golf community. And one of the big things here that they like to do is get together, drink wine. This guy is super annoying. This guy has swept the streets 10 times since we've been here. I honestly this thing. I think that guy's just like watching a movie or something on his phone and he's just doing circles. I've never seen anybody sweep the street so many times. But anyways, one of the biggest events here, one of the most popular things, is anything that has to do with wine. They've got a clubhouse here. It's actually really nice. I'm not sure if we have B-roll or not. We're not gonna be able to take you in because they had a water leak. They're doing a bunch of renovation right now. But this is gonna be there as well. So you're gonna have this, but everybody here apparently drives around in their golf carts, hangs out with their neighbors, all that kind of thing. You're gonna have people, not just from DFW, but from all over. So there's a hodgepodge of people here. No matter what your thing is, you're gonna find a great community.
And if you think the amenities Tom just showed you were cool, that's nothing. That's not even half of it. What they got here in this part of the community will blow you away. But what if you're not 55 years old yet? Well, don't worry. We can still make you a part of the Viridian community because most of Viridian isn't even for 55 and up. That's specifically the Elements, which is a fairly small portion of the community for good measure. If you want your kids to live here and you are thinking of moving to the 55 and up portion of the neighborhood, that gives you the opportunity to be close, but not too close. And if you're one of those baby chasers that has grandkids on the way and you want to, babysit them every now and then, this is a really good option where you guys can be in the Elements and have all of your own amenities and everything to yourself, while the kids and their grandkids still get their own section as well, apart from everything else. So it's a good sense of separation while still keeping everyone included. But really, where is Viridian? It's actually centrally located right in the heart of Arlington. And if you know anything about the DFW Metroplex, that means you're about equidistant from Fort Worth and Dallas. It's a really advantageous place to be. And on top of that, there's a ton of things around this. There's shopping, restaurants. You're a scant few minutes away from all of the like the stadiums. So AT&T Stadium, or I think it's American Airlines actually. I'm not a big sports person. There's a bunch of different sports stadiums in this area, and they have all kinds of events, music, concerts, things of that nature, all right here in the city. So you're basically in the heart of it all and you're not going to miss out on any of it. But as we walk past all of this, you can kind of get an idea of all of the things that they have in this area. On top of having A-rated schools, you've got a bunch of things that you can do right inside your own neighborhood, like this pool. We've got resort style pool here. This isn't the only one. They're actually putting in a new one. You saw the amenity center back there. It's got a ton of gathering space. We've got sports courts galore, everything from pickleball, tennis, basketball, you name it. We're actually just walking past this big green, like a green space, almost like an event space or like a picnic area where they may have like get-togethers. But this is the real big thing about Viridian because, and I'm sorry, you'll have to contend with the sun here, I haven't seen this in any other neighborhood. You've got all these waterways and these big lakes and lagoons that go through the neighborhood. They're all interconnected, and the really cool thing is they allow kayaking, canoeing, and my favorite part, you could probably see the sails over there. They have a yacht club. I don't know of any other neighborhood that has a yacht club. That really just blew me away whenever I heard about that. They've got rentals, they've got lessons and schools, so you can go out, learn how to sail, learn how to, command a boat. You can't do that in any other neighborhood. So that's the real selling point for an area like this. Now, if this isn't quite the right fit for you, it's a little too deep in the heart of the city, we've got an alternative where you can still have your lake living and a 55 and up community, but we'll get to that here in just a minute. What you're gonna check out right now is a really cool floor plan. So let's go check out what Tom's got.
So I'm excited to take you into the Middlebrook today. This is a fantastic plan. If you're somebody that likes to entertain, this is something I think my parents would probably buy because they do like to entertain. I'm gonna show you why. They've got a really cool setup in here. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so right off the get-go here, we're gonna have, this could be an office, it could be a second living space. This thing is huge. Like in a lot of these floor plans, you're gonna see a small office or like a regular size office. This is big enough, it could be a second living room. So if you're somebody where is like the husband's always watching his golf channel and you want to watch your soap operas or whatever it is, like you can actually have that kind of setup here. And the other thing you're going to notice, no doors. So I know this is a thing, as you get a little bit older, you don't want to clean as much. You don't want to clean those glass doors. Well, they don't even have doors, so you don't have to worry about it. So coming into the kitchen, there's a couple of things to point out. Number one, I mentioned entertaining earlier. Really good size island here. They've actually got 4 stools. So if you're somebody that likes to cook and prepare things and entertain, then everybody can kind of be hanging around here while that happens. And another thing I think is a must-have, they've got a pull-out trash can drawer here. So this is something that I feel like a lot of people don't think about, but it's really nice to have. You don't have a trash can sitting on the side or something like that that gets in the way. And also, I know a lot of people always want to know, do they have gas? Yes, they have gas in this neighborhood. So that's definitely a plus. And then They do have a decent sized pantry, and if you're thinking, hey, that's not enough, you do have the option for these upper cabinets, which I think look really nice. I like the fact that they have, they don't just have like the flat glass. They've got like, I don't know, these little bubbles in there. So if it was a little dusty, you probably wouldn't even notice. But here's one other thing to point out, storage. Lots of storage here. So you have more storage here if you wanna have more of that stuff, you know, you wanna overstock your pantry so you don't have to make as many trips out, or if you're like my grandmother and have, you know, enough Christmas decorations to decorate in IKEA, you're gonna need some extra space. So there's a coat closet plus this bad boy. And then coming in to the living room, this is really what makes this an entertaining space. Not only do you have a really good sized living room here, you've got a good dining space, but the part that's more exciting here is this extension of the living room. So right here, they've got this set up as just kind of like a casual area. And then they've got a bar right behind the camera here. So this is something I think my parents would really like because they like to entertain. People stop by, they grab a drink. My parents would have a card table right here. So we like to play games and that kind of thing during the holidays. So this would be a place where we would all gather. And of course you have this giant glass door here, which just makes this space look really, really nice. And I got some more stuff about that, but let's take a look at the master first. So this master is actually huge, and so is the bathroom. This is one of the things we noticed as we were walking through all the models, is it seemed like this one had some of the most space as far as the master goes. So really tall ceilings. You've got the trade ceiling here. They've done a nice job with the choices that they made. David Weekley, their designers always do really nice stuff. And then here in the master, you've got this extra long vanity here. So, you know, I feel like as you get older, you just collect more things to put on here. I don't know what you use any of those things for. And then of course, the guy, he's got like his razor and toothbrush, and that's about it. But plenty of room here. You've got a nice walk-in shower. And this is something that I think is really nice that they do here. So if you look, there's no drop off here on the tile, right? So you can roll on in here, if you know what I'm saying. Like if at some point, you know, you're out there playing bocce ball or pickleball and you throw out a hip and you're in a wheelchair or a walker for a couple of weeks, no problem here. And that's also another thing. In all of these homes, there are doors to the toilet closet is also wider. So that's a really nice feature that David Weekley has in these homes. And another thing, no door here. So this is kind of a staple, not only of the elements that David Weekley has, but normally they're normal builds. And this closet has a cool setup because you can actually hang some extra clothes here. You could do a couple things with this. You could probably even get in a small little island here if you wanted to. It's a really good sized closet, but let's go check out the backyard setup. So we didn't mention there is a second bedroom and bathroom, and it's just right off the kitchen. Nothing over the top about it, but your laundry room's there. And I guess that is, one of the downsides. One of their more popular floor plans here, the laundry room is actually connected to the master. And I think it sits right behind, you might be able to connect it. It may be an option. That's why you call us. If you're interested in this, we'll figure it all out for you. But I will say, this is your patio. This is the normal patio you have. And the one thing that's probably a little bit of a detractor on this is your garage is actually back over this way. So you have a breezeway to get from your garage to inside of your home. So that's something that you'll want to consider. Not that big of a deal in my opinion, but for some of you, it may be. But as far as the patio goes, good sized patio. They've extended this through here. So you can see, compared to the garden homes they have out here, you have a lot more space, right? And also they have a couple different sizes on lots. They vary by about 5 feet, but you can get some, especially if you get in early on the next phase, you can find a lot that has more space on it. But a lot of people out here do kind of this kind of setup. I've seen it. When we were flying the drone over, you know, they'll do some extra paving, they'll do some artificial turf, and you have no maintenance because the HOA takes care of the front. But this is also one of the patios. My dad likes to smoke cigars. So he golfs, he smokes cigars, he's living his best life, right? And he would be out here all the time. And this would be one of those situations where you could probably extend this a little bit if you wanted, put on those little shades that come down, be a perfect little outdoor setup. But this is a great option if you're looking to move here to the Arlington area. So if you want to get into the Signature Series, which is what we just walked, those are going to start in the low 5s. By the time you probably finish out your upgrades, finish out that kind of thing, depending on your floor plan, you're probably going to be around 550 to 650. And we're going to crunch numbers here in just a little bit on HOA dues, taxes, all that other kind of stuff, so you can kind of plan and see if this might be a real good fit for you. But right behind me, you're going to see there are some homes going up. Unfortunately, that Signature Series is no longer available in this phase, but the good news is they're opening up another phase here mid-2025. So if you are interested in those bigger homes, then obviously this is going to be an option. And also Drees is going to be in here as well. We didn't showcase them in this video, but they are going to have some bigger lots. So if these aren't big enough, they're going to have some even bigger ones for you as well. But if you want to be the very first person to know about it, definitely you'll want to get on our email list. There is a QR code on the screen, and if you scan that, it'll take you to our website. If you don't know how to use QR codes, there's going to be a link in the description. But it'll take you over to the website. There's a search you can fill out. We'll keep you updated with everything that's going on in this neighborhood. If you're interested in the other neighborhoods we're going to talk about here in just a minute, you can let us know as well in that search criteria. We'll send you everything. But the best thing, really the best thing you can do is just give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. In a 15-minute call, we're going to talk about what you like, what you don't like, the little things, and we're going to figure out in a matter of about 15 minutes or so what areas are really best for you and how we can help you most. So that's something that definitely do it. Anyways, well, I guess let's talk about those other neighborhoods and then we'll wrap this thing up.
Waterfront is great, but this is pretty deep in the city, and I know that's not for everybody. So what if you need to get a little bit further out, a little bit away from it all? Well, Granbury may be the place for you. As a matter of fact, it's a place for a lot of people because it's not just one of the top retirement destinations in Texas, it's actually one of the top retirement destinations in America. And for good reason. Low taxes, great economy, a phenomenal community, and tons of things to do. And on top of that, they've got lakefront properties galore. It's a trapped lake, so it's actually it's part of the Brazos River. It's really long, spans the entire city. And so there are a ton of communities that are either close to or directly on the lake. And if that's something that interests you, we've actually got a playlist that covers a lot of these communities if you want to go check it out after all this.
Now, if golfing is more of your thing, then there's another community called Ropes and Ranch, which is super popular, super active. We've actually got another video we'll link to at the end of this one, if that's more of your speed and you don't need to be central here in the Metroplex in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But one of the great things about Ropes and Ranch is just the massive amount of things to do. They've got so many amenities. Quite like this place, they've got a golf course as well. They have folks that come in and teach classes, all of these kind of things. And we actually in that video interview a resident that talks about her experience there. So that's one you're not gonna wanna miss. But let's finish this video up, talk about what the numbers look like here in this community and whether it might work or not for your pocketbook. All right, so as we're wrapping things up here for the day, obviously this is a beautiful community. I mean, you can't really beat this, I feel like. And we talked about some of the other communities. There's another one over in Frisco, Lakes of Frisco as well. So there's a lot of different ones if this isn't quite for you. And if you're like, hey, it might be for me, we're gonna hit you with the numbers. So then if you decide it's not for you, call us. But,
we got options.
Yeah, so as far as the tax rate goes, we're looking at 2.5%. And so if you're somebody that's doing some napkin math, if you're looking at a $500,000 house out here, you're probably paying around $825 a month for taxes. So that's one thing. And then HOA.
HOA varies, so there's a few different options here. If you've got one of the single family houses in Viridian proper, you're looking at about a little less than $100 a month for the HOA. And the HOA out here is going to include everything from like the maintenance of the grounds and the amenity center, as well as access and management fees. If you've got one of the townhomes, you're going to pay a little bit more because there's an assessment for the common areas. So you're looking at about $385 a month. But you still get access to all of the other stuff that the rest of the HOA fees cover. And then if you're going to be in the Elements, you've got a special assessments, but you do actually have extra amenities being there. So you're paying about $325 a month, which gives you access to all of the stuff in the main area of Viridian, as well as landscaping and access and management of all of the amenities in the Elements area. So they take care of your front yard over there, as opposed to the rest of Viridian.
Yeah, we didn't mention it earlier, but they also have like a events coordinator on staff, like that, you know, does the community planning, all the event planning, that kind of thing, as well as there are community groups as well that the residents have put together. So a lot of options there if you're looking to buy a house. There's also pre-existing homes for sale as well, if you're not set on something new. But obviously, if you are, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you into a house, help you find the right place. We're guaranteeing to save you money if you buy with us. But as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm. Call Tom.